Remember Bill Roach, missing for 13 years?
You knew Bill really well?
Yeah, and that's why I followed him.
Well, in Queensland, this man, Bligh Grant, says his mate is alive and well.
A 6-foot male dressed in denim, that'll be our fella.
Police found 13-year-old Lisa Peters.
You're not in any trouble at all.
But who'll look after her now?
And we want to get you back in school, where there's people that don't pick on you.
And a breakthrough for New South Wales detectives.
We found numerous other human bones.
The contents of these bags may finally bring closure to a grieving family.
And to provide them with the answers that they need, it's a very special part of the job.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit,
Good morning, everyone. It's another busy morning.
a hectic week means many of the team are out on the road.
We've got a few on today. Sergeant Samways is still up in Brisbane chasing down the Crime Stoppers report we have of Bill Roach. We got that after the program went to air.
Bill Roach was last seen in 1993 in Armidale. Police believed he was dead, but after a reported sighting by a friend and multiple Crime Stopper reports that Bill was alive, Mark Samways is in Queensland to investigate.
And there's a pretty good chance that this person may have been caught on CCTV, so fingers crossed. Some of us are on the road today. Leah's up in Lismore. They found Lisa and she's now going to live with her grandmother in Bathurst.
13-year-old Lisa Peters was found on the streets of Lismore, where she'd been living without food or money for over a week. Worried about the young schoolgirl, police brokered a deal for her to live with her grandmother in Bathurst.
Leah's escorting her to Sydney today and then it's off to Nan, so hopefully it'll work out for her.
Okay.
I've got a new lead in one of my long-term missing persons cases from 2002 and it appears to be positive.
Sergeant Vanessa Rolfe gets a break in her long-term case of a 30-year-old Victorian man reported missing 5 years ago. Police believe human remains found in a paddock in Western New South Wales may be his.
It's early days, but the detectives are hopeful it is their missing male. So that's it. Have a good day.
Meanwhile, in Brisbane, in the ongoing search for Bill Roach, case officers Greg Lamey and Mark Samways have arrived to meet with missing persons detective Jim Ryan. They're following up on the unconfirmed sightings of Bill. We continued the search for Bill Roach, who was last seen in 1993. Police came to the conclusion that Bill had been murdered. But before closing the case, the police launched one final search of his old farm. Investigators took samples of blood from Bill's farmhouse, but a forensic lab in Melbourne delivered a surprising result.
Well, unfortunately, we were not able to get a result from any of the items.
Kind of leaves us back to square one with the investigation, but it also leaves hope that Bill's still alive somewhere.
That hope grew after an old university mate of Bill's says he actually saw him walking down a street in Brisbane.
I suppose the most important thing for us is this guy knew him intimately. And so it's not like someone out of the blue that's seen Bill's photo on TV. So this guy actually associated with him at the time he went missing. So for him to be adamant that it was Bill, there's got to be some credence to it.
You know, we'll be seeking to get a good shot of the person who he saw, so we can sort of follow up from then.
If it is Bill Roach, police think there's every chance he's been recorded by one of dozens of security cameras in the area.
Probably the first possible evidence of life we've had for, 12, 13 years.
Back at Sydney's Missing Persons Unit, they've begun working a new case to identify remains of a skeleton found on a New South Wales farm.
G'day, sir. Graham Hook from the Missing Persons Unit. Ringing about the unidentified skull that you found out there.
Graham's hoping Inspector Mick Willing in Dubbo can give him more information about this grim find.
But yesterday morning around 5:45, a farmer came across what appeared to be a human skull whilst he was mustering cattle. He contacted rural crime investigators who went down with detectives and basically cordoned the scene off, and SES gave us a hand doing a bob search of the entire area.
Police believe the remains belong to this man, Stuart, who was reported missing by his family in Victoria 5 years ago.
I read in the original event that Stuart went missing from near the railway station at Stewarttown.
Yep.
He disappeared on his way to Queensland after stopping in this small country town. He was seen wandering near the train tracks.
Where the skull was found is probably around 500 metres from the railway line.
And that's where police are concentrating their search for evidence.
The remains will be taken to the Institute of Forensic Medicine at Glebe, where they'll be subjected to further examination and using DNA and dental records, hopefully identified.
In Brisbane's Fortitude Valley, police are meeting the man who says he's seen Bill Roach. He's Bly Grant, Bill's old uni mate.
Good to see you, Greg.
Positive he saw Bill walking here only days ago, Bly called police immediately.
Basically just retrace the steps from when you first saw the person. Bill.
You knew Bill really well?
Yeah, really well. We kicked around uni for 5 or 6 years. I worked in cafes, played pool against him, drank with him.
You'd recognise his gait, his mannerisms, and all, not just his facial features.
No, and that's why I followed him.
Not wanting to scare Bill off, he kept his distance.
Yeah, just shopping bag, head down, looked like he was going home.
Right. We'll just get you to retrace your steps, I suppose. Yeah.
It's a strong lead. Police thought Bill had been murdered, but Bly swears he saw his mate alive.
Go anywhere closer than 10 metres away.
In Brisbane's Fortitude Valley, the eyewitness in the Bill Roach case says he saw Bill right here just days ago.
Might have been this intersection or the next one, but at one of the two he stopped and looked that way, downhill basically.
Camera there. All right, that's good. All right, so he crossed here, did he?
Yeah.
Bly says he followed him for 4 blocks. And fortunately, the whole route is covered with surveillance cameras.
That's at least 3 cameras we've got, hopefully got footage of.
If Bill has been caught on camera, it'll confirm Bly's story that he's alive and possibly hiding out somewhere in Brisbane.
Our witness is adamant that it was Bill Roach, and we have to confirm that and see if it is Bill Roach, and we won't stop until we do that.
Right, we'll go to the city and have a look at the CCTV.
Okay, let's go.
All right, okay.
The investigation into the unidentified remains found in country New South Wales now ramps up.
Yeah, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, Graham Hook from the Missing Persons Unit.
Sergeant Hook is
How are you?
contacting forensic dentist Chris Griffiths, whose specialty is identifying remains.
It's a skull with the top jawbone intact. The lower jawbone isn't there, but the top jawbone does have some dental work done to it.
Oh, that's great. That at least puts it back into the. We know it's a fairly modern skull and not a ancient Aboriginal or something like that.
Dr. Griffiths will compare teeth from the skull with Stuart's dental records. And detectives from Dubbo have driven the 5 hours to Sydney. They carry with them the remains they think belong to their missing person, so Dr. Griffiths can examine them.
Stuart was located walking down the railway tracks of Stewarttown, which is mainly a freight line track, naked. And the police at the time formed the opinion that he may be suffering from some sort of mental health issue. As a result, he was taken to hospital, where he was assessed by a doctor there and subsequently released back into the police custody, allegedly not suffering any mental issues, where he was returned to his vehicle and released. He was not seen again since that time.
At Brisbane City Police Station, Mark and Greg are searching those surveillance cameras for the first sign of Bill Roach in 13 years.
9:30?
Yeah.
Not 10:30?
Yeah, because I saw him, I followed him after that.
No.
They begin to scan every frame.
So it's 11 o'clock now.
So he walks up, doesn't he?
Yeah, walks.
Look at this.
Then they spot the witness, Bly.
That's Bly. They're about to pass that sign.
Yeah, okay.
But the question is that Bill Roach walking in front of him?
Well, it's got him. It's got the back of him in the distance, but it's not very clear, is it? It's definitely the guy that Bly was following. But
The camera angle is wrong, The image is blurred and police are not sure.
There must be other cameras up and down that strip.
So now, if they can find the right camera, there's every chance they'll get a better shot of the man they think is Bill. At Sydney's police headquarters, in the case of the skeleton remains, Dubbo detectives are carrying the evidence they hope will solve their missing persons case. Nick Kesseris and Luke Scott will take the remains to Glebe Morgue, where up to 20 skeletons are identified by their teeth every year.
On Thursday, we obviously located the skull after the farmer located it in the paddock. As a result of that, we organised the SES and there was a line search was done. As a result, we found numerous other human bones. Some of them we believe may be animal. We just need to get that clarified, obviously, when we get to Glebe. Other than that, we've just seized them and brought them down for today. We've seen the coroner. She's been notified at Wellington, and she's obviously issued an order for a post-mortem.
But it'll be another 24 hours before Stuart's dental records arrive.
If we can identify him on dental, it can be done straight away as soon as the records are here.
Yep. The only problem is with that, there's going to be, he's only got one filling.
Constable Leah Wilson from the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit is escorting Lisa to her grandmother's home in Bathurst. Leah flew to Lismore in country New South Wales to look for Lisa.
I don't know where she's taking shelter, I don't know what she's eating, I don't know if she has any money, and I'm quite concerned about the people that she might be associating with.
Lisa ran away from her uncle's home after just one day.
Just stubborn.
Yeah.
I've got young people.
Then, after a 2-week search, local police found her in Lismore.
Hello, Lisa. How are you going? Don't be scared, sweetheart. You're not in any trouble, OK? You're not in any trouble at all. Do you want to tell me what's been going on? No?
After hours of counselling, authorities decided that Lisa should leave Lismore and live with her grandmother in Bathurst.
I don't want to leave yet.
Lisa, unfortunately you can't keep running away and we're really worried about you and we want to get you back in school where there's people that don't pick on you.
So today, at Sydney Airport, Lisa is finally a little happier.
Most of the time I've been looking for my boyfriend because he went missing as well. He ran away from his mum.
The last one was the first trip, so...
My nan said that he's allowed to move in with us, but I can't find him, so...
Okay, it's gate 47.
I think it's a great result, actually, and the best part of it is Lisa's actually now talking to me and smiling, so it's been a good day.
So Leah grabs the chance to give Lisa some good old-fashioned advice.
I told you shouldn't fight over boys.
Attention please, ladies
Should you?
and gentlemen, just for those passengers travelling
shouldn't fight over boys.
783.
Flight 526 departs.
See you, Lisa. I'll give you a call on Friday, OK? See you, sweetheart.
As Lisa boards the flight, Leah can only hope that her grandmother will turn her young life around.
Obviously, there's a lot of children in the same position as Lisa, but it does make me feel really happy and it makes us all feel good when we can reunite them with family and that they do show some kind of indication and there's an undertaking that they want to make things different. And when we give them that slight opportunity, it's all up to Lisa now.
It's case closed for now, but just how long will Lisa stay in Bathurst? Back in Brisbane's Fortitude Valley, Mark and Greg have stepped up their hunt for video evidence that may confirm Bill Roach is still alive.
We now have a definitive time and a definitive date when that male person walked up that morgue. So now we can approach the owners of those establishments and say, do you have footage?
They may now have a date, but the worry is there's a chance the pictures may already have been wiped.
You've got a camera pointing out into the mall, closed circuit TV. How long do you keep footage for?
28 days.
We've got a long-term missing person. The guy has been missing for 13 years.
Okay.
We believe he walked up the mall. Any chance we could have a look?
Yeah, I'll bring you.
It may be high-tech evidence, but it's old-style policing. Hard slog, dingy corridors, and plenty of unanswered questions.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, that one.
All right.
Number
Yeah,
10.
right.
There's a camera on the roof of the hotel that points directly into the mall where we believe this person would have walked at the time that we looked at the council footage.
11 a.m. exactly. I'll probably try 10:59.
Yeah.
Depends how
58,
accurate your camera's.
Should be dressed in denim and carrying a...
They painstakingly scan every
Is
frame,
that the bottom of the hill and this is the top of the hill?
but the camera moves again before Bligh, or the man he thinks is Bill Roach, come into view.
Like what time is it showing now? Yeah.
It's such frustrating work, but with so many cameras, there has to be one that's looking in the right direction at 11 a.m.
Awfully close.
We're now in Bathurst, in country New South Wales. Teenage runaway Lisa Peters is finally home, settling in with sister Jackie and her grandmother, Mari. Jackie is so relieved to see her sister, she even bought her a kitten.
Nanny cried for a while and I was worried about you being hurt and all, you know. You don't know how much upset you, Nan, because I love you so much, you know that. Silly girl.
When Nan cried, it'd make me cry. And I'd sleep with Nan every night because she'd cry herself to sleep because she missed her that much.
At least until her mum in Darwin finds a home, Lisa will stay here with her gran and her new pet and older sister.
Well, I'm trying to convince her to go back to school. She's going to have to do Year 7 again because she only went for a few weeks. I'm going to get a job on the weekends and I'm going to see if she wants to get a job with me on the weekends. So, see what she wants to do. Whenever anyone mentioned your name, I'd start crying because I missed you.
I missed you too. And I won't run away again.
Yeah, I'm starting to cry now.
Meanwhile, back in Brisbane,
Right, what about this one? That's a...
after 10 hours on the trail, Mark and Greg are still searching Fortitude Valley's Brunswick Mall, looking for the right camera pointing the right way.
Your TV there, does it shine very much out on the street or not? We just need to look. Doesn't shine much in the street, does it? No. All right, no worries, thank you. No, it gets down to here.
No, yeah, it only sees the legs, there's no point.
Still no luck.
Run out of options.
Then, on the very last block, Greg spots one more camera.
Does that capture out onto the footpath? We're looking for someone who walked past here. Nothing to do with what happened.
Without a clear image of Bligh or the man he thinks is Bill, they're back to square one.
Well, if he's walked past there, it's going to pick him up, isn't it? Because that's like just excellent vision. Let's see that.
See here also.
And just a few frames later, Mark and Greg see the images they've been hoping for.
Hey, there he is. Denim jacket, the Sydney Morning Herald type bag, the recycling bag with stuff hanging out of it. That's definitely the bloke that Bligh saw. Whether or not that's Bill, but a 6-foot male dressed in denim, that'll be our fella.
And there's his mate, Bligh, following close behind.
Bligh, that's our witness. So that guy in the denim's definitely the one he thinks is Bill. So he's still following him. So he's still convinced there,
yeah.
And he's ringing someone to tell him that he spotted who he thinks is Bill Roach. That's excellent.
Yeah, that's a good result.
That's good.
At last.
Yeah, it's taken, what's the time? It's taken all day.
It's actually been 13 years. But if this is Bill Roach, it's all been worth it.
Bill Roach may be alive. Perhaps Bill is walking around Brisbane somewhere.
In Queensland, it's day 2 in the search for Bill Roach. Detective Jim Ryan has taken Mark and Greg to a pub in Wynnum, where Crime Stoppers reports have also placed Bill.
One of the premises he's supposed to hang is here on Friday nights. Rides a pushy. He may have a beard now. His name's Bill Roach or William Roach, but he could be using any name now. But mate, by any chance, does that face look familiar at all? Friday nights plays the pokies supposedly, and mind you, that photo's 13 years old.
To confirm the reports, Mark and Greg need someone to recognise Bill's photo.
Does anyone like that look familiar?
No.
And after canvassing everyone in the bar,
I think I have seen him in here. Whereabouts? In the public bar.
they finally get a positive ID.
Yeah, but yeah, I see him just over there having a drink.
It could just be the break they're looking for. And then a check of the bar's register shows there's actually 2 members on file called Roach.
So your membership records only have addresses and names, no date of birth or...
No, we don't ask for date of birth.
Calls to Crime Stoppers have also placed him here at the Wynnum RSL.
Sorry, question, but this man's not deaf, is he? Because there is a person who, if he does, who could look a little bit like that, he rides around on a motorcycle, on a motorised bike. I've seen him in Wynnum because I live in Wynnum myself.
It's the second mention of the man on the bike who looks like Bill Roach, except that this man wears a hearing aid.
Well, who knows what's happened in that 13 years? He could have had an accident, something could have happened to him. Yeah, I wouldn't discount it because of that, especially seeing the age seems to fit. They said in mid-30s.
So their canvass is working, but is the man on the push bike Bill Roach? Back in Melbourne, the case of missing mum Veronica Green is still very active. Who could forget both her daughters' heartbreaking 30-year search? But now there's been yet another development in the case. While looking for their mum, they found a brother they'd never seen.
Come and meet your uncle and your auntie and your cousin.
Stephen was adopted out at birth and never knew his biological family.
All right, go on.
At a family reunion, he also met his dad for the first time.
He just stared at me for a long time. I asked him about our mother. He told me she was beautiful. He told me he's really passionate and sorry that she's not around. I haven't really got to what went on about me, if that makes any sense with him, you know. I told him there's plenty of time for that.
But unfortunately, time ran out for his father and Stephen.
A month later, Dad passed away, so it was fantastic that he was able to meet his son.
He said, "Oh, I'm really proud of him, my son. How's, my son?" So, and I think that's the thing, is it was the connection to Mum, just like us.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was not complete for Dad, was him having not ever seen Mum again, and
I think he probably had a lot to say to her, I really think that he's so regretful of the whole situation, and
he never got over her.
Nothing to fear now, Mum. Not that there was. Probably the only thing he would have said to you was sorry.
When Dad dying, there's closure, but with Mum, there's just no closure. You never get over that. You never stop looking, and you never stop waiting, and you never stop wondering if you're ever going to see her again.
I can't express how complete you would make things for me and Penny, and we just really would love to spend Christmas 2007 with you. Please come home.
Back in Queensland, after a long day searching for Bill Roach,
Our last real chance.
police have reached the end of the trail in Wynnum.
Any chance you could just run this guy's name through your records for us, please?
What was it?
Roach, R-O-A-C-H.
There's no member called Roach, but staff here also remember the man who looks like Bill and who rides a bike.
This is the third licensed premises, and the one we were at before we came here, they described that fella that you were talking about with the hearing aids. And
a search of the club's register gives them a name and another address.
Well, we'll go over the address and have a talk to him. All right. Sounds good.
Just as they're about to leave, there's a sudden development. The man on the bike shows up. 13 years of searching comes down to this next moment. It's the last throw of the dice.
We're looking for a missing person.
To finally locate Bill Roach. And in the case of the Dubbo skeleton, a dentist uses high-tech forensics to solve this mystery. And a 14-year-old boy spins right out of control.
I'm trying to hide it from my kids, but